Anybody knows how to rotate the what do you call it, the YouTube videos, because it keeps telling me to put it this way round, which with the tablet, it's, instead of being long ways, it's that ways, which obviously goes against how the actual thing sits, which means I have to keep trying to get it to sit still for 5 minutes while I do the video, because it loves sliding on the desk. Anyway, it's great to see you all, although I can't see you, but it's good to be here, another video. So I've got a few things, like I said, any topics you want to talk about, except for Israel, because quite simply, I'm not Jewish, I'm not Arabic, I don't live in the region, and I'm, to be fair, sick and tired of the protests in the UK. Why they think the UK's got to fix anything is beyond me. It can't fix its own problems, so let's leave that one there. But if you wanted anything discussed, leave it in the comments after the video, and I'll pick them up and I'll put them on the next video. So today I've got a mix of things to talk about, probably about 10 items again. So the first one is about the car industry, because it's interesting with the Jaguar one, because I think the Jaguar advertising just didn't make any sense to me at all. A, they're not selling cars. B, they didn't have a car to advertise. It just seemed like, from me, from my perspective, it just seemed like a bunch of spiteful gay people sneering. It just seemed to give off a negative vibe. But at the same time, is this a case it's the automotive industry that's shifting? Because if you look at what's happening with China, you look at the state of Volkswagen, I think Nissan's nearly bust. You look at the state of Porsche, BMW, etc. Has a lot of this got more to do with their finances than the car industry themselves? So when we're talking about EVs, electric vehicles, is this something that's been done to the car industries because people ain't buying as many as they had hoped? So what you do is you punish the car companies, so it becomes more focused on EV or go bust. Now, knowing stuff what I know from things that have happened to companies and people over the years, with banks withdrawing loans because they decided to change the boardroom, throw out their original investors, etc., it's very likely this may be a move to actually shift people into forced buying electric cars, or like me, I'll probably keep the cars till you can't buy petrol. But the other side of this, in the UK, has just lost a van factory, because I think they were fining them something like £18,000 per van if it wasn't electric. So obviously then why would you want to make petrol and possibly diesel vans in the UK? Great, it's about 1,200 jobs gone without any logical understanding of a solution. You know, it's basically just gone. And I find in the UK it's going that way. We'll all be sat there with this, what seems to be a communist environment, high unemployment, everybody expecting a payout, but nobody paying in to actually carry it out. That model didn't work for Russia, didn't work for China, didn't work for North Korea. So no idea what these people actually think of. But even when you engage, when you listen to the way they talk, they don't seem educated, they don't seem informed. They seem like they're following ideologies and dictation, which is concerning for the UK. But I do think Jaguar is probably put its nails in its coffin, simply because its original buyers, I think you're going to struggle to retain some of those, and actually saying you don't actually want those. You want a whole new section of people, and you want to go more towards Bentley sort of level sales, you know, in the market. But even when I heard that, I look at it this way. Have you seen a Bentley advert? Have you seen a McLaren advert? Have you seen a Bugatti advert? No, because they don't have to advertise. So it just seems completely bizarre to me that it just seems like a bit of a sneering that we're changing um, a big FU to their customers, and then at the same time not even having the vision of where they're going yet. It just seems completely mad. But anyway, so I do think the car industry is in a strange place. I hear a lot of noise about cars coming out of China now as well. But I think some of that's going to shift with Trump as well when he introduced tariffs. I wouldn't be surprised if the tariffs start hitting the car market as well as soon as he gets into power. Because why is he going to import cheap imports when he doesn't have to? Let's face it, if the money's in your economy, then your economy is booming. If you're constantly importing, the money's coming in from overseas, jobs are overseas, etc. So it does look like America's probably going back to an older model, which was expected anyway. This was predicted probably 20 years ago. I remember the conversations when companies were starting to outsource, that the prediction was that the reverse would happen in about 20 years. So it looks like it's happening. So I can see American companies starting to produce again that were no longer on the map. I can see that being realistic. There's a thing with John Deere at the minute. I'm not going to get into that, but there's a thing around the parts and stuff and some other stuff they've been up to. So I do think with Musk and others in there, I do think that America's going to reshape how America buys. And if America's changing its shape, it's that saying, isn't it? If America sneezes, everybody else catches a cold. I think that's going to be realistic on this. So I do think there's stuff going to go on in the car industry. So my best advice is, if you've already got a car, I'd wait probably 18 months and see what the market does. I know I keep bringing this one up, but it's an important one. It's about being based. I was talking to my son about this yesterday, funny enough, because I sort of try to get his friends and that to understand it as well, which is basically just be in the current place, the current moment, what you're doing, not thinking about tomorrow's problems, not thinking about yesterday's problems or yesterday's